mine. She know I'm one of a kind. She don't see none of the guys. She know you know I'm a nice.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to a new video and welcome to a new corner of my kitchen that you haven't been in yet. If you're new here, I'm Malcolm. The aim around here is to showcase high quality plant-based cooking and eats, approachable holistic wellness practices, and just overall good vibes. Today I'm going to show you what I eat in a day, how I put things together as somebody that's been plant-based for about 7 years now. And approachability and accessibility is top of mind for me when showcasing it to others, because food is very powerful, and if you could take steps towards finding out what that looks like for you or optimizing that in any way, then why not? And in the name of all that approachability and accessibility, I'm going to be showing you my pantry essentials. Some of the things that you have to have on hand if you're going to be approaching a plant-based diet or just eating healthier in general. I get so many questions about what I have in the house, how I make use of it, and how it all comes together. So hopefully this video serves as good inspiration for you all out there. And if you like this video, you like these vibes, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tap in with the tribe, leave a comment, hit the bell so you get notified every time I upload. And if you want to see more content from me, more specific recipes, more lifestyle stuff, I have short form platforms, TikTok, IG, go follow me there too, see what's popping. But if you do want something more physical, I do have a book available as well, full of my story, holistic practices, a bunch of delicious recipes, and much more. But with all that out the way, let's get into how I start my day, which is usually with a smoothie. So let's get into it.
Since having started this whole plant-based wellness journey, I've gotten a lot of questions about as to why or how I break my fast and why it's important I do it in a specific way. And namely with fruit, like a smoothie or a juice or something like that. And what I always say is, like, you have to think of it like priming before you paint. You can't just go in on a bare wall with your paint of choice and not expect for the paint to adhere to the wall in the best way, for it to come out looking the best. And the same kind of goes for our digestive system. Waking up in the morning, we're coming out of at least an 8-hour fast, if you will. So our system is pretty much asleep and we have to wake it back up. But the thing is, with the standard American diet and the modern idea of breakfast, we most typically associate that meal with heavy starches, meats, dairy. And while yes, it is important to get in good sustained energy for the day, that could be a lot for the system to take on all at once. Hence, always starting with fruit, because fruit is super hydrating. Like I said, we're coming out of a fast and we're dehydrated, believe it or not. So fruit does a few things. One, it hydrates us with all the water content. Two, it introduces fiber, starts moving things through the gut, and sort of jumpstarts your system, so to speak. Then it provides some nice natural sugars for our body to take in and start generating energy to start our day. Overall, it's really cleansing. And even if you just start the day with like one piece of fruit, one apple, one orange, something with high water content, yeah, you already have a leg up on optimizing your system for the day. After that, it's easier to incorporate all those cooked foods and heavier meals that we're used to throughout the day. That's when we begin to paint. And once it's primed, you can go down with any coat you like. So even if you're a big breakfast person, at least just have a piece of fruit before and just see how it makes you feel. It might just help jumpstart your energy in a different way that you're used to. And smoothies are great for incorporating other supplements or other types of foods that you want to add in to start your day. Like I added in ginger here, a scoop of sea moss, which is great for mineral content and just overall holistic health. A couple mint leaves for the taste, but then also for some of the digestive effects as well. And it just makes it really easy to get all that in to start the day, and you're off to a much better start. But now I'm going to get into some of the things I keep on hand when I do eat. Pantry essentials that are key as far as maintaining and sustaining the plant-based lifestyle. And like I said before, even if you're just eating healthier in general, if you want to incorporate more whole foods, looking to introduce more nutrient dense foods, these are some good things to have on hand. So let's get into that. Okay, this is not everything, but welcome to Malcolm's Pantry Essentials. If you're thinking about exploring a plant-based diet, if you're new to the lifestyle, if you've been in it for a while but you need some new inspiration, this can be a good way to get reacquainted with some of the things that you know you want to have on hand. Plus, I know from experience that a big hassle or a big drawback or a big deterrent from people even exploring the lifestyle at all is thinking about all the things that they have to get, or all the things that they have to know how to cook, or knowing what they need to have on hand. So hopefully this can help. Now, I've also done a full plant-based grocery haul on the channel as well, so you can go check that video out, where I go over all the main things that I get, what to look for, and some best practices when shopping for a plant-based lifestyle. So I like to think of my pantry essentials as being broken down into 4 main categories: grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, and flavor. Let's start with grains. Grains are an integral part of any diet that you follow, really. They're obviously a big source of carbohydrates where we get most of our energy from. They could also be great sources of plant-based protein and trace minerals like iron, calcium, and so on. But some of the main grains that I keep in my house on a regular basis would be, firstly, some pasta. I like to opt for the gluten-free pasta just because it's a little easier on the digestive system. You don't get as much of a sugar spike, and the experience is pretty much the same depending on which one you get. I get the one from Jovial, the brown rice pasta. This brand is good. Andean Dream is good. They have a good quinoa-based pasta, and there are a lot of other good brands out there that make pasta from legumes or veggies or whatever else you're looking for. But as far as grains go on the pasta front, I like to opt for the brown rice gluten-free pasta. Super satiating, cooks quickly, and like I said, you're not gonna be missing out on much with the pasta experience by opting for something like this. Next on the grains list would have to be oats. I've been optimizing oats a lot recently just because my days have been a bit more hectic on the front end. So I'll have a bowl of oatmeal to start my day after I break my fast with fruit. And that will give me sustained energy through the later parts of my day. You can cook down your oats and have like a hot oatmeal situation, or you can do an overnight oats where they're eaten raw, but they soak overnight and make it a really easy, low effort breakfast for you to have on a day-to-day. And what's great about these is you can make them both sweet and savory. I'm not a savory oats person myself, but I've seen a lot of great recipes out there, and you can entertain that if you're not a sweet breakfast person, or they can just be had as a meal on their own. Plus, they're really good for you. They're great for fiber, they're great for gut health, heart health, and they help with blood sugar levels. So all around, you can't lose. Then last, I think it's good to have around grains like quinoa or rice. My personal favorite is quinoa because it's rich in protein. It's one of the few grains that are complete protein, so you get the full amino acid profile. So if you're eating more plant-based and you're wondering where you're gonna get your protein, quinoa itself is already a good protein source. And then if you pair it with other legumes or other plant-based protein sources, you're gonna get everything that you need from it. Rich in magnesium, rich in iron, rich in fiber. I mean, this is like a powerhouse food right here. So all of these together really work to help sustain your energy, fortify your meals, work as a good base to build off of and pair with other nutrient sources. And these really are essentials because without these, our meals would definitely be lacking. So that's category 1. Category 2, legumes. We're talking chickpeas, we're talking lentils, we're talking any type of beans, black beans, red beans, split peas. These are also another staple you gotta have on hand. You can buy them dried, you can buy them canned in some cases, but remember, we always wanna buy organic. But in any event, these are also nutrient dense, nutrient rich foods. Just like the grains are rich in protein, fiber, magnesium, things that really help fortify your meals and give you all those micronutrients as well as help you hit all your macronutrient goals. And I mean, if you've seen any of my videos before, and I'm about to show you what I eat as well with these pantry staples, these are always on my plate. Canned is definitely most convenient, but obviously, like I said, we want to shop organic. We want to make sure the can is non-BPA lined, and we want to make sure the legumes themselves are being stored in water as opposed to like a high salty concentrated mix that helps preserve shelf life, because that adds a lot more sodium content than we actually need. Buying them dried, of course, does just take more time to prepare. So if you're already short on time and you're still experimenting with what this lifestyle might all look like for you and everything, canned might be easiest to start, and it's just good for convenience to just have on hand, like I said, and they last a long time. But same goes for dried. So either way, you can't lose. Next category. Nuts and seeds. These are major keys because like a lot of other plant foods, they're just so rich in all these nutrients. Like for instance, hemp seeds themselves are a complete protein. You get about 10 grams per 3 tablespoons. And with whatever you're making, you're probably gonna add more than that. So you're getting at least 10 grams of protein with just 3 small tablespoons of hemp seeds. Also rich in fiber, also rich in magnesium, also rich in iron. All of these nuts and seeds, from chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, and then if you get nut and seed butters, this is more of a concentrated source of all those nutrients. Plus, these add another dimension to your cooking in that they go into soups, they go into stews, they go into sauces that add a creamy element, that add a like nice richness to it, add obviously a nutty type flavor, and you're getting all that same nutrition, so you really can't go wrong. My favorites to have on hand though are all the ones you see here. Hemp seeds, of course, like I said, that complete protein source. I like to mix these into my protein smoothies. In addition to I like to mix these into my protein smoothies. I like to add them on top of salads, or just put a couple tablespoons on the side of a meal that I'm already eating. I also really like these for adding into oats and oatmeal, even like a chia seed pudding, which is another one that I really like. This is also great as a baking alternative. If you're not using an egg, this can be a good egg replacement. Flaxseed is also great for another egg replacement. That's also rich in healthy fats and other micronutrients as well. But chia seeds for the chia seed pudding is great. You've seen me make that here on the channel. That's another low effort breakfast breakfast type meal. And these are really great for fiber. These are really great for magnesium. These are really great for iron. I also like to have walnuts on hand. Where these really shine is being a great source of healthy fats and being good for brain function. And I think it's no coincidence that they kind of look like a mini brain. Having them raw, having them soaked, any way really counts. You can make a nut milk out of this. But I have to say my favorite application for these is making like a walnut ground meat situation. I've made these on some of my socials before. You soak them, pulse them down, add them with your favorite spices and seasonings, and they really do come out like your favorite ground meat, which could be, you know, incorporated into a pasta sauce. I use these for like a ground beef type situation when I want to do tacos. I recently did like a cheeseburger hot pocket situation on my socials, so go check that out if you haven't already. Pumpkin tea is another great source of protein, rich in iron, rich in magnesium. I mean, you're kind of getting the theme here about how beneficial all these are, right? And as you can see, I use these a lot. They really go on top of my acai bowls. They go into my oat bowls. I'll blend these into my protein shakes sometimes too. Salads for sure, all sorts of stuff. Cashews are great. This one is more fat focused. These two, walnuts and cashews, are more fat focused over like the protein and all the other micronutrients. But these are great for cooking because they add so much richness and so much creaminess to sauces. These can be the base of a lot of great sauces. This is the base of my favorite cheese sauce that I make. And this is my favorite to make nut milk with. Again, just really rich, really creamy. If you soak these and blend them up to make your nut milk, you won't have to strain it. They break down really nicely, get really soft. So all these together are stuff that you should definitely have on hand. You'd honestly be surprised at how much you can actually do with nuts and seeds in different forms and how much nutrition they actually have to offer. Now for the last category, which is the flavor. It's pretty self-explanatory when I say that you need to have flavor in your food. From seasonings to oils to vinegars to stock cubes, nutritional yeast, and stuff like coconut milk, tomato paste. All these things help infuse your food with the flavor and the experience that you want to have. Spices go without saying. They're the plants, they're the herbs that help season everything, that help bring the food to life. There's obviously endless combinations you could use to try and create what you want. And I mean, there's only so much I can say about what spices mean to a dish. Then we have oils. Oils are necessary for infusing flavor, good for marinades. They obviously are integral in the cooking process, searing, sauteing, and a myriad of other cooking techniques. Vinegars, which are definitely underrated. I mean, these are great for dressings. These are great for sauces. They just help add a nice acidity, a nice bite to whatever it is that you're making. And when applied in the right way, they can really elevate something and just give it a whole new dimension. Nutritional yeast is a great one to have as well. All plant-based people kind of swear by this because it really is the real deal. I mean, it's incredible what kind of cheesy flavor this can give. And I mean, if you're one of those people that really love cheese or was really hard to give up, I mean, this is gonna be your saving grace here. And then you have the option of, you know, like sprinkling it on like you would like a Parmesan, or putting it into sauces and soups to just give it an extra boost of umami flavor. And these are rich in B vitamins, so that's another thing that plant-based people tend to be more deficient in: B1, 2, 6, and 12. So all around, just another powerhouse that you want to have, and it just offers you a great taste, like the cheesy flavor. And then since we're talking about flavor, you gotta have the stock cubes on deck. Now this one is not so necessary because you obviously have all your spices, but having a concentrated block of spice that you can just drop into any dish, into any stew, makes life a lot easier, makes things a lot more convenient. I drop these sometimes into like my grains when I'm cooking them in the rice cooker just to add some extra flavor. Obviously, if I'm braising anything or having a nice stew, these come really handy. The brand of these is called Edward & Sons. I haven't found any other vegan stock cubes out there that really hit the mark like these do, and these are really clean ingredients. Everything's organic and they have a bunch of flavor combinations, from veggie to curry to onion to chicken to beef, so most definitely need to have these around. Same goes for something like a tomato paste, another concentrated source of flavor that is most famously used in Italian dishes, pasta, sauces, things like that. It doesn't have to be used just for the Italian type cuisine. If you're looking to add a little brightness, maybe like a hint of acidity or like a sweetness, this can definitely be your go-to. And then an underrated one, coming back to coconut milk. This can be your substitute for anything that calls for sort of like a heavy cream situation. This adds that fattiness, that richness to sauces and dessert. The applications are pretty much endless. I use these for my acai bowls as well as I use them for my curries. Sometimes I'll use them in pasta sauces, things like that. If you're worried about the coconut taste, you might get a little bit of it here and there, but depending on how you flavor it and how long you cook it out, all these things, that really isn't too much of a factor. And these are in the flavor category because if you are looking for that, that offers that too. This really just helps enhance the flavors you're already cooking with by adding some of that richness to the dish. And I think with that, we've covered everything. Grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, and your flavor. These are all the things that you gotta have in your pantry. Obviously find what works best for you, what you like, but this at least should serve as a good baseline to just know what to look for when you're out and about, how to navigate a plant-based lifestyle, what to have around. But now I'm gonna show you what I make with some of this stuff.
My pussy perceive me. I might have a time change. I'm still playing the victim and you still playing the pick me. It's so embarrassing. All of the things I need living inside of me. I can't see it. It's so embarrassing. All of the love I see living inside of me. I can't see it. I'm blind. Calm down, sugar, be words, never say that. I don't want pipe down, rather get payback. Mama told me never sit where you lay at. I don't want righteousness, I hurt too much, I lost too much, I lost too much. I hit my clutch and boom, third day pop out the tomb.
And we are here in the aftermath of the messy kitchen after cooking. This is what a lot of the food creators don't show you, is that after we're done filming and cooking, kitchen's a mess. So I'm gonna have to clean all this at some point. Luckily, dishes is my favorite chore, so I don't mind it too much, but it's a hassle when having to film. Nonetheless, one cooked meal here done. Using pantry staples. I mean, you saw the can of chickpeas, you see how easy that came together, and you could add some flavor enhancers like the coconut milk like I added, a stock cube, other seasonings, and then we just went in with the simple pasta as well. Add some fresh greens, some steamed veg, some mushrooms if you want, and then you have a complete meal. All that took no more than maybe 30 minutes at the most. If you time things right, it could all land together and you can have a meal done in under 30 minutes, which is how I do most of my cooking every day anyway. So in addition to all the things that you could have on hand that can make this lifestyle a little bit easier for you, like I went over in the essentials, putting them together could be just as seamless. So while yes, it may take some adjustments here and there, the learning process is worth it. It all gets easier, and ultimately you'll feel good about what you're feeding yourself, which is what I'm about to do. And with that, we've reached the point in the day where I like to have my smoothie bowl. Usually I do acai, as you might have seen on the channel before, but I've been on a big mango kick recently, and this 3-ingredient mango sorbet smoothie bowl situation has really been hitting. So I'm gonna show you guys how I make that today. Very simple, very easy. Literally only 3 ingredients. So let's get right to it. First up, obviously you need your frozen mango. I don't really measure these, I kind of just go with the vibes really, and if I ever have any extra, then I just put it into the canisters I use for the Ninja Swirl here, which spins up frozen fruit mixtures and makes it like ice cream and stuff like that. So that's probably what I'm gonna do here. I'll probably have a little bit extra, so just keep in mind I'm like kind of making like 2 servings, if you will. So just kind of cut this in half. There's probably about 1.5 cups to like 2 cups worth. I also have to put in a certain amount too, because if it's not enough in the blender, then it won't like blend up properly. So I'll factor that in too. Then some coconut milk. This is like a leftover can. This is about like 1/4 can's worth. Then I'm gonna go in with this. That should fill up about just halfway of however much frozen mango you have in there. And then just a little bit of sweetener. You can use whatever sweetener you like, honey, maple syrup. I'm just using agave because this is what I have on hand right now. Just a little bit. Maybe like 2 tablespoons worth. And these ratios are to ensure that it gets like a thick, creamy, like ice cream-like texture. If it's too runny, then you just add more frozen mixture. If not smooth enough, then you just obviously add more liquid. Might have to go in with a tamper or a spatula. And that is what you want it to look like. Blends for a few minutes, tamper it, and it comes out so smooth and creamy. We gotta do the little scoop test, right? Just to make sure it's valid. I mean, look at that already. That looks really good. And you gotta have a frozen bowl when you're making a smoothie bowl. The pro tip. That's the perfect texture. I could have let it go a little longer, but this will do. Golden kiwi, blueberry, dried goji berries, dried white mulberries, walnuts. And there we have a perfect little mango smoothie bowl. And that wraps up a full what I eat in a day, plus showing you my pantry essentials. I hope you found this video useful. Hopefully it lent some inspo, and hopefully you just enjoyed the vibes if nothing else. If you made it this far in the video and you like what's going on here, why don't you subscribe? Just tap in with the tribe, leave a like, leave a comment, hit the bell too so you get notified every time I post. You can definitely check out some of my short form platforms if you're looking for more content, more recipes, more vibes in general. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.